Good morning, everyone. Natural gas has now rolled over into the December contract. I've made a circle around there because you can hardly see it. The interesting thing is, if you just refer to the previous videos I've done, is that we've closed inside this triangle. So let's zoom out a little bit. I drew this in the last video. You can see we've got this triangle-shaped pattern at the bottom of a longer-term range and near the bottom of the range, and we're consolidating inside this pattern for the moment. Now, what I thought was that we would actually open up this new contract back inside the triangle. If you remember, we popped above $3 for a brief period, and we're back below it now. So this is nice because we've got a proper structure we can still work with. What I expect is going to happen over the next number of days is one of two things. Now, notice we've got a big rollover gap over here. The contract rollover gap doesn't mean it needs to be filled, but it is there. And sometimes the rollover gaps do require filling, but it's not like a weekend gap. There was no trading during this period. It's a brand new contract, separate contract. So this is what I think could happen. Two, maybe three potential paths. First of all, I'd like to see a little bit of a pullback on this new contract. It's the normal case that the contract will pull back a little bit before moving up. Now we've got a good level below us down here at about 2.5, which I spoke about in the previous video. So if we were to pull back into there and do something like that, that would make a lot of sense. So I'd start to look to buy here. I've still got a long position from 2.22, and I'm still holding on to that on the continuous over at Pepperstone. However, I haven't started trading the December contract on my broker at Black Bull on the NYMEX. So this is what I'm looking for on the futures, and I'm staying in my spot position long from 2.22. I'll have a look at that very briefly now. So that's the first option, this triangle here. The second one is we might need to revisit this rising triangle bottom, and that might look something more like this. Again, sorry about the squiggles, drawing this with a mouse pad. So back down closer to the 2.25 area. The third alternative is the more bullish scenario, and that's just to break out through the top of this triangle. So maybe a bit of faffing around like this underneath, a retest from under, and then a breakout like that. So we've got three potential paths here. Let me know what you think in the comments. We've got, first of all, the move down just to sort of fill the gap down to the very, very key level at 2.5, thereabouts. Path B takes us a little lower down towards the 2.25 level and the triangle bottom. And path C means we just sort of faff around here for a little bit before breaking up through the triangle top. Bear in mind that we've got elections coming up on Tuesday week, and everything is going to change up, including the value of the dollar against other currencies and things like energies and gold and Bitcoin. And so any change in the value of currencies, particularly the US dollar, will affect all energies, including natural gas. So there will be an influence by the elections. I don't know what that will be, what that influence might be, but I'm giving myself three different options here, bearing in mind that I'm already long from 2.22. So let's go across to the Pepperstone continuous price, and I've got that on the chart right next to us. And that's where we are at the moment. Let's get the day chart up. All right, so we've got this big order block below us, the 200 period moving average, from which we bounced quite recently. We've moved back down. Big day down yesterday. I think really just a rollover combination, technical thing, maybe some position covering because of the elections coming up, and all the talk about natural gas and crude oil by both sides, one for drilling and natural gas and the other one against it, and their policies will reflect their beliefs and their approach to this market. So perhaps that was just a bit of protection, relief, uncertainty, doubt, and maybe a bit of long covering moving up into the elections. I do believe that if we get a Republican victory, we'll see a bump in the natural gas price and a decline in the oil price. So these markets may be starting to position themselves ahead of that idea. Of course, if the Democrats win the election, the opposite thing could happen, and we could see a decrease in the price of natural gas and an increase in the price of oil. These are pretty diametrically opposed energy policies from both parties, so obviously there's a little bit of nervousness going into this period of the election. So here on Pepperstone, we've just really pulled back into key support, and nothing to worry about here on the continuous, big order block, 200 period moving average. And also, as I pointed out in the previous video, we retraced almost 78.6% of the recent smaller move up from down there. Natural gas likes the 78.6% Fibonacci level, respecting it here, as well as the previous occasion with this double bottom on this big long-term swing. So I'm watching this very closely, waiting to see how this week pans out, bearing in mind all of the things, the rollover that just occurred, the election coming up, the different energy policies of both parties, and the fact that we're at key support levels. And generally, I think the overall idea is that natural gas will get a bid going into the future, and we should gain the $3 level and beyond that quite soon, I imagine. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, I'd love your subscription and your thumbs up. And also, below this video, there's a button that says join, And for $1 a month, you can join my private YouTube community and you'll get access to all sorts of other interesting stuff like early release videos, interview videos, and we're really amping up the whole thing for our YouTube members community. So I hope to see you in there too. Take care.
Not gas kings, we trade for grace. We'll make the smile, lights up the place. Market swing when we hold our base. Double bottom strong, we're in the chase. Come on, click and clack that online.